To the Republican candidate's argument that this should be, the voters should have the say and not the courts.
Why are you standing with Confederates who betrayed this country? And this is what they're standing with, is the spirit of those Confederates rather than the Americans who came together after a long and brutal civil war that was fought to keep the Union together, and clearly saw a threat in ex-Confederates running for office, so much so that they amended the Constitution to prevent those traitors from running for office. That should send a message that our election system, our electoral system, can be used for nefarious purposes against the democracy itself. It's clear. It's clear as day.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. So, yeah, you guys all know what's going on. You see what's going on. You know what's happening in Colorado. Guys, this country is so divided with manufactured tribalist freaking nonsense, man. There are people that really do truly believe that a state court subverting the will of its state's voters is a good thing for democracy. And I mean, just a thing, man. The ones who believe it are the ones who have, ironically, self-identified themselves for years now as the guards of democracy. And let's just break down what it is that they're celebrating. They are celebrating a liberal majority of a state court alleging a crime that no one believes actually happened, in order to do literally anything and everything they possibly can to stop Donald Trump. This is not about law. This is not about democracy. This is not about justice. This is about stopping and beating Donald Trump any way they possibly can. And this is what these people are celebrating, man. We see them. They're our neighbors. They're our friends. They're that polluted by this stuff that they are celebrating the destruction of everything they claim to care about and uphold. It's insane. But here's the good news. They're destroying themselves in the process. You know, this is set to absolutely backfire epically in ways that they have never, ever imagined and will never imagine. And, you know, of all the things that Donald Trump has done to upset the left, I think nothing has upset them more. No action that he's done has upset them more than winning the 2016 election. Ever since then, they have tried everything that they possibly can to stop the man. They want to destroy the man. There are some of them that would like to see him die in prison. The only problem for them, everything they do, and mainly because they're doing it for such ill intent, everything they do makes them stronger. And like I said, the reason for that is people see through their illegal, unjust, and egregious actions. That's what they are. I mean, just have a look at what CNN has to say about this, and then I'll share with you some facts that I think will silence even the most propagandized liberal.
But I also want to find out what's happening in Trump world to this, the reaction to this explosive ruling from the Colorado Supreme Court. Joining us now is Maggie Haberman, a senior political correspondent for the New York Times and CNN political analyst. Maggie, I noted Trump was just on stage in Waterloo. He did not mention this decision on stage there, but what are you hearing from Trump insiders about the reaction to the ruling tonight?
They generally see it, Caitlin, as a gift. I mean, you know, Trump is not happy about any of these cases, particularly cases that tie him to a charge of insurrection, but they see the way that they anticipate this will play out. As you know, they are going to appeal. They are going to ask the Supreme Court to take it up. The Supreme Court doesn't have to. If they don't, it's basically affirming the decision, which I think becomes complicated, although they could obviously always affirm it. They feel pretty good about their chances that it will get overturned. And either way, they see this as something that they can use to argue that he is being victimized. It's something that's easy for voters to understand, Caitlin, which is, you know, effort to throw someone off the ballot. Some of these legal cases, the criminal cases that he's facing, are more complicated. So, again, none of this in the aggregate is the kind of news that most people would like, but somehow every time Donald Trump gets a piece of legal news that in normal times would be problematic, it has had a rallying effect on his supporters.
Yeah, so just like we said, I mean, that dude is absolutely 100% correct, completely spot on. Everything they do makes Donald Trump stronger. And this Colorado decision is probably going to be the best example yet, because the Colorado Supreme Court, they're just perfectly wrong. They are so wrong and so egregious that it has to be politically motivated. They are basically inventing legal precedent. That is what they're doing. Because here's the thing about the 14th Amendment, Section 3, if you read it. Most constitutional experts, even Democrat ones, believe it or not, there's Democrats that are experts in a few things, they read it to mean that the person would have to be convicted of an applicable crime. Colorado justices, they're hanging on the verbiage of engaged in an insurrection, right? And I get that, all right? I get that. But if you haven't been charged and you haven't been convicted, you just have to have engaged in something. I get all that. But shouldn't that something have actually happened? Shouldn't everyone agree that that something took place? The federal government doesn't even believe that what we saw on J6 was an insurrection. They don't believe it. I mean, they have issued thousands and thousands of charges brought against hundreds and hundreds of defendants, and not one of them has been for insurrection. No official documents have ever described the events of January 6th as an insurrection. The federal government does not believe that an insurrection happened. And on top of all that, as if you need something more on top of all that, if you actually read the 14th Amendment, Section 3, there's a list of offices an insurrectionist cannot hold. Believe it or not, president is not one of those listed. So here's what's going to happen. This will go to the Supreme Court, obviously. Everybody knows that. It'll go quickly, I would imagine. And this is probably going to be the first clean sweep on the court in a very, very long time. I can almost guarantee it will be a 9-0 ruling in favor of Donald Trump. And liberals everywhere will absolutely lose their precious little minds. But that's going to be fun to watch. It won't be the price of admission. It won't be worth the destruction of democracy that we literally are watching. But at least they're revealing themselves. But that's all I've got, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Really, really does help us grow and get our voices out there. We really appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next one.